Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Today is volume 4 of our American Wagyu versus USDA Prime series. So we've already done T-bones, we've done tomahawks, we've done picanha. Now today we're going to tackle the tri-tip. What I have here is an American Wagyu tri-tip and a USDA Prime tri-tip. So, in case you haven't watched the others, and you really should, we'll talk real quick. What is American Wagyu? So, a Wagyu cow is a cow from Japan where mama cow and daddy cow are both of the Wagyu breed. American Wagyu is a steak or a piece of beef that comes from a cow that had either a mommy or a daddy Wagyu cow. The other one would be Angus. Prime is what USDA calls their top grade. So there is Prime, there is Choice, there is Select, and then there's 3 that we just don't even talk about. And that all depends on the age of the meat and the marbling of the meat. So Prime is being the highest. So we'll figure out, do you really need to spend the money? Now, right now, I've been lucky. All of my American Wagyu beef cuts and my USDA Prime beef cuts have really cost about the same. I've been getting my American Wagyu right here locally in the Phoenix area from Rovey Family Farms, and my Prime cuts have came from Off the Hook Butcher Shop. The tri-tip. What is the tri-tip? The tri-tip is a triangular cut from the bottom of the bottom sirloin subprimal cut. The first appearance of the tri-cuts was way back in 1915 by an army butcher, Rondo Brow. So he was taking the bottom sirloin, and typically the way they were cutting the meat back then, there was a lot of scraps left over, which was made into hamburger. He was trying to get another cut of beef for the troops. So he changed the shape of some of the cuts and came up with this triangular cut from the bottom of the bottom sirloin and called it a triangle tip. In the 1950s, Otto Schaefer out of Oakland, California, started marketing these type of cuts as the tri-tip. This has also been known as triangle steak, Newport steak, Santa Monica steak. This cut became a big hit in the Santa Monica area in the 1950s and was basically just seasoned with salt, pepper, and fresh garlic, and then it was cooked to a medium rare, cut against the grain. The locals loved it. Over the years, it has came out to the rest of the country. So not too long ago, Greg did a video on how we normally cook our tri-tips. We will either take the tri-tip and put it in a red wine marinade along with a lot of garlic, or we're very fond of the Sweetwater Spice brand brines. So we will take ancho chipotle brine and brine the tri-tip overnight and then cook it on the smoker. Today I'm going super simple because what we're judging here is which is better, the American Wagyu or the USDA Prime cut. So we're doing them both the same way. I want the beef flavor to come out. I don't want it to be masked by the marinade, though the marinade is outstanding. So we're gonna go as simple as possible. So, I'm gonna get my gloves on here, and we're gonna get a thin coat of Wagyu beef tallow, which I get from Amazon, about 35 bucks for this thing. It's an absolute essential for your brisket if you're cooking brisket. But you can use it for other things too. I use a lot for my hamburgers. I got just a little bit left in this canister here. We're going to put it to good use. We're going to rub down both of our tri-tips with that so the rub has something to stick to. All right, they're both coated. Now we're going to hit them simply with, what else? Some California tri-tip seasoning. This comes from Cattleman's Grill. Absolutely love this brand too. We get ours from All Things Barbecue out of Wichita, Kansas, where good people come from. Unfortunately, not sponsored, not yet. So we can hit these pretty heavy. They're pretty good hunks of meat. Both of them are right around 2 pounds. Tri-tip seasoning tends to be pretty coarse. A lot of big chunks in there. We will let that side tack up for a minute or two, and we'll give them a flip and do the other side. All right, I have my YS640 Yoder smoker fired up to 275 degrees. I am smoking some competition pellets out there. So we're gonna put these on the top shelf and cook these indirect, and it's gonna take somewhere around an hour and a half, give or take 10 minutes. So let's get these on the smoker. All right, smoker's at temp, smoke looks good and clear, so we're gonna get these on. I've got my meter probes in here because I wanna make sure I pull them off when they're right around 130 degrees. And as I said, that's gonna take about an hour and a half, plus or minus 10 minutes. So let's get these gorgeous things on. All right. We have some other things to do in the meantime. All right, so the tri-tips are out smoking. Man cannot live on tri-tip alone. I know. So we are going to make a recipe that was done by Susan of rhubarb and cod. We're going to make malted vinegar potatoes with caramelized shallot yogurt sauce. I know, fancy, fancy for the Galley of the Sun. It won't look as elegant as when Susan does it, but we're going to give it a damn good shot. All right, so what I have here is a bunch of fingerling and small potatoes that have been cut in half. These are going into the saucepan. Most of them are going in the saucepan. Some of them are going all over the goddamn place. To that, we're going to add 2 cups of malt vinegar. This recipe intrigued me because, of course, as always, Susan made it look great, and I have never used malt vinegar for anything but fish and chips. We're going to take water, fill it up the rest of the way, and we're going to get this on high and bring it to a boil. All right, taters are covered. All right, so they've been boiling almost 15 minutes. What you really want to check, though, is that you can take one of your potatoes and easily stick a fork in it. And that'll tell you that they're ready to go. And the technical term for that is fork and tender. No, really, it's German. All right, so we're going to take these off now, get them drained, and do the next step. So we have our taters, precious, out of the boiling water. We've drained them. Now we're going to take each one of them and put them cut side down on a baking sheet with parchment paper. The oven is preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. In honor of the great chef Snoop Dogg, we are going to de-rizzle these with some olive oil. Next, we're going to hit them with some salt. What I have here is garlic flavored sea salt. All right, now they go into that 425 degree oven for 25 minutes. Now we go back to the stove to work on that shallot yogurt sauce. So I'm going to get a pan here, get a good amount of olive oil in there, maybe a couple tablespoons, put this on medium heat until the oil starts to shimmer. All right, we're getting the shimmer. Now in go our shallots. Get those all evened out. We're going to hit those with a little bit of salt. Once again, I'm using garlic sea salt. And then we're going to cover that. We're going to turn that heat down to pretty much the lowest it'll go. And then we're going to stir those every few minutes until 15 minutes have elapsed. All right, so we've been sauteing those shallots for about 15 minutes. Next step is, according to the recipes, and we're doubling it, would be to add 4 cloves of garlic. Minced, of course. So, that looks like about 4 cloves or so. Now we're going to stir that up and let that go for another 5 minutes. So at some point my camera's turned off on me. So here's what I did. I put my yogurt in here. I put my caramelized shallots and garlic in here. 4 chopped up scallions or green onions if you're a simple person like me. about a teaspoon of salt. Again, I use that garlic sea salt, and got all that mixed up. Now, if you want the recipe, go to Rhubarb and Cod and check out the recipe there. You'll be happy you did. All right, so let's get this plated up. So, we get our sauce on our plate, and then we get all this spread out. Nice even layer. Fantastic. Now they're gonna hit that with some greens. Oh, pretty, pretty, healthy, healthy. Now on top of that, we're gonna lay our taters, which just came out of the oven. All right, we got our taters on now, a little bit more greens, make it pretty, pretty. And then we do have some heat-averse people in the house, so I'm only gonna put this on half of it, but I'm gonna de-rizzle some chili crunch on top of half of it. So half of it can have the pizzazz and the other half, you know, just without. All right, and there we go. So, director, come hither. Give this concoction a try real quick.
I just called myself.
Up, and some of the sauce. Yeah, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I mess up the pictures. Very good.
All right, I'll try one with a chili crisp. See if it's too hot or not. Oh, that's good. Susan, thank you so much for this recipe. That is good stuff. All right. Now for the main event. The whole reason we did this. The American Wagyu versus the Prime. I know which one is which. The director doesn't. So we'll see which one she likes better. Okay. Both looking good, medium rare. All right, director, let's judge. Okay, which side you want to try first?
This way.
This one. Okay, we'll try this one first. Incredible. Beefy, delicious.
Very good, tender.
All right, let's try this one. Again, this one has more beefy flavor. Which one do you like the best? All right, another score for the American Wagyu. So I left the fat cap on the Prime, so I had no problem telling these two apart. So this has to have a little bit of fat with it, but much more intense, delicious beef flavor on this. Hey, I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Next time, I think we'll be doing short ribs. I can't wait. All right, until next time, fair winds and following seas.